Okay, so I've just been learning about k-means clustering, which is a way of clustering different data in data sets into groups. It's used for a machine learning algorithm so we can better make predictions on where something belongs. This is a form of unsupervised learning, but since I've just been learning it, I thought I will explain it so I better understand it and hopefully find any mistakes. So let's get going. So if we say, so let's start with, let's say we have a graph here, right, with some random data points. So initially what we do is we set a k value. Let's set it to 2 for the time being for our example. And this basically means we need, what we want is the data to be separated into two groups. So we'll set it as 2. And what we do is from this data set, we will select a random data point, the same number as our k value. So we will select two data points. So let's select this. So let's select this as our one of the centroids. So that's what they are called. They're called centroids. So we will select those two random data points. So now once we have our centroids, we will compare each of the other data point to the centroids. So let's say, let's compare this one over here to begin with. So what we will do is we'll calculate the distance here and I calculate the distance here. Usually you're doing Euclidean distances. So we calculate the distance between these points. And what we will find is that this data set is more closer to this centroid. So we will classify this data set as belonging to this centroid. And we will do the same thing with, let's say, this data set. So we compare there, we compare there, and we can tell this one belongs to this because the distance will be closer to there. And we will do that for each of the data points. And at the end, we will let's get this data again. It's not going to be exactly the same here, but sit there and there and there. So now at this point, all of the data sets will be in clusters based off these centroids over here. So we had this as a centroid before and that is a centroid before. So let's say they are like somehow, after we did all that, they are divided into clusters like that somehow, right? And depending on the centroids before. So what we do now is we will take the mean of these clusters. We'll take mean of both of these clusters and that will give us the new centroid. So this doesn't have to be the actual data point. So this can be just be some random point within here. So let's say the mean comes around here and for that one it comes about here. Those are our new centroids and we repeat the same process. So for each of the data point we compare it with this cluster, we compare it here. Let's say for this one as well, we compare it there, we compare it there. For this one, we compare it there, we compare it again with both of the centroids. And again, once we do that, the clusters will be slightly different as they will be updated. And after that, it's just basically repeating the process again and again until our centroids converge towards a point. So essentially, because our data is like very varied, our mean like might move here, our mean might move there, wherever. But after a certain point, like it will basically not move, like stay in one place basically. And that is when it converges, and that is when we say we have a definite clusters of data.